There must be an air show or something going on, because every time I try to record, an airplane passes over me. So we'll try and power through it. Hello everyone, this is Greg K4HSM. I'm here at Spicy Mustard headquarters in East Tennessee, and wanted to give you an update on the current situation with the impending winter storm this weekend. It's Thursday, January 22nd. Just got another weather briefing from the Weather Service, so we wanted to kind of highlight what they were talking about. The first thing is that we have a timetable now. Saturday into Sunday is when all of this is supposed to happen. We also know that this is now gearing up to be more of a rain and a freezing rain event here in Knoxville, parts of the mountains, up into Southwest Virginia. Some of the northern counties on the Kentucky state line may get some snow, but for the most part here in Knoxville, it looks like it may be a rain event slash freezing rain event. They still have a winter storm watch for the entire area, but that could change depending on how this system pans out over the next couple of days. There's still low confidence in what type of precipitation. It's looking more like there's going to be no snow here in Knoxville, but it looks more like rain and freezing rain and a wintry mix. How much of what type we get still remains to be seen. There will be significant impacts on travel, so if you have to travel this weekend, use caution, but it is recommended to stay home. Right now, the way it's looking is I-40 is going to be this line between the snow and the rain as far as the temperatures are concerned aloft. So if you're north of I-40, prepare for snow. If you're south of I-40, prepare for rain and or freezing rain. There's also been some discussions about the weather on the other side of the Smoky Mountains into North Carolina. Some of the areas in North Carolina as well as South Carolina might get a very significant amount of ice and freezing rain because of the temperatures from the north coming in, the bitterly cold temperatures mixing in with the warm temperatures from the south. And I talked yesterday on the video I posted about the warm nose effect. That warm nose effect could cause some significant warming of temperatures about 5,000 to 10,000 feet above sea level, and can therefore increase the potential for freezing rain. There was also a discussion about thunder sleet and thunder ice. I've never heard of those terms, but if you're along the Mississippi River area, you could experience a rare phenomenon of thunder ice, as these intense temperature inversions could create the potential for lightning, and you may hear thunder ice as the freezing rain is falling. Memphis is supposed to get a significant amount of icing, almost an inch in some areas. So this was the latest forecast discussion that was released earlier today. I'm going to try and paraphrase as much as I can, but areas near I-40 and northward are expected to have the entire atmospheric column below freezing, which will result in some potential snow to start on Saturday afternoon. This is going to result in a lot of sleet and transition to freezing rain across the region. In addition, the southerly flow and subsidence along the western slopes of the Appalachians will result in warming surface temperatures across the western slopes of the mountains, with areas around Gatlinburg and Newport to Greenville likely warming up above freezing pretty quickly on Saturday night. This will limit ice accumulations in those areas, so that's good news. Across the valley and plateau, there are several variables that will determine total snow, sleet, and freezing rain accumulations. The first variable is the cold air aloft. Most of the snow will be limited to areas near the Kentucky state line, and snow totals will likely be compacted by sleet and freezing rain mixing in on Saturday night. While further south, sleet and freezing rain will be predominant precipitation types on Saturday afternoon and night. The second uncertain variable right now is the warm nose temperature around the 800 millibar level overnight. Remember the warm nose I talked about? That warm nose will be near the sleet freezing rain cutoff. We likely get a mix of both sleet and freezing rain for much of central East Tennessee, Knoxville and vicinity. Depending on the exact mix, we may have a significantly more ice accretion due to freezing rain or significantly more sleet and less ice accretion. Overall, a large portion of the region will likely see a trace to a ½ inch of sleet and 1/4 to 1/2 inch of ice accumulation. Southern areas near the Georgia state line may only see a trace to 1/10 of an inch before the transition to rain. The caveat across the south is the higher elevations around Chattanooga, such as Signal Mountain. Surrounding portions of the southern plateau may see higher ice totals up to around a ½ an inch. Now again, earlier this week, everybody was going absolutely apeshit because there was one model saying worst case scenario of like 30 inches of snow on top of like 5 inches of ice. And then other models were saying a lot of snow. Other models were saying something about the fact of what we're getting right now. There really wasn't that much of a all rain situation as some of the models are starting to show. But as we get closer to the actual event, all these models are going to start lining up and say, okay, yeah, we're starting to see some agreements where we didn't see them before. But again, some of these social meteorologists that I keep wailing on about, they want to take the worst case scenario, hype it up, drive up those clicks, and make their money. And they're not taking into consideration common sense, and they're not taking into consideration that folks like you and me, we live here and we know the weather better than they do. So after this weather moves through, there's going to be a really cold air mass from the north that's going to come down and drop temperatures 20 to 25 degrees below normal for Monday and Tuesday. Monday night into Tuesday morning, temperatures are going to drop into the single digits for most locations. Temperatures near or below zero across the higher elevations. Temperatures, the wind chill temperatures actually, will be much colder and could be -5 to -15 Fahrenheit, depending on location, elevation, etc. The one positive about that, even though it's going to be ridiculously chilly, will be that the winds won't be as much of a factor. They think that there's going to be a lot calmer winds than it could be, so the wind chill values may not be so extreme. Tuesday morning is going to be probably the worst of it as far as temperatures are concerned, with temperatures into the single digits across most of the area. So now it looks like everything is going to basically be starting at 7 a.m. Saturday morning and continuing on until about 1 o'clock Sunday afternoon. Of course, as with any weather situation, things may change. So again, this is what we think is going to happen right now. It could be a completely different picture, and it can go either way. We could get quite a bit of snow and we could get quite a bit of ice, or we just get nothing but rain. Again, the closer we get to Saturday, the more we're going to find out. So let's talk about the possibility of snow and ice. So right now it looks like I-40 is a line of demarcation between getting snow over 3 inches, and there's a greater than 50% chance of having that. So anything below I-40, you have a less than 50% chance of getting snow 3 inches or greater. When it comes to ice, it's much more scattered and much more significant when you go to the plateau or you go over the mountains into North Carolina and South Carolina. Right now it's a low percentage, that about 30% or less, that we're going to get about a 1/4 inch of ice or more. But on the plateau and areas to the west of us in Roane County, they got a little bit more of a 50% chance of getting greater than a 1/4 inch of ice. Then you get down into Chattanooga, and there's a few areas down there where you could have significant icing. But if you look over the mountains into the Carolinas, they've got greater than 70% chance of getting more than a 1/4 inch of ice in some areas. And just after I started recording, the governor of Tennessee, Bill Lee, issued an executive order declaring a state of emergency for the entire state of Tennessee. I'll put a link on the executive order and the press release here momentarily. It'll be in the description of the video. So stay safe, everybody. No matter where you are, whether you're in Tennessee or elsewhere, do take precautions and plan ahead. Make sure that your loved ones are safe and secure, and hopefully, cross my fingers, it won't be as bad as some of the forecast models have been saying. So for now, it's still up in the air as to what exactly we are going to get as far as precipitation is concerned. We could get snow, but not a whole lot of it. We could get freezing rain a little bit, maybe a quarter of an inch or so. We could get nothing but rain. Again, we'll get more knowledge of this the closer we get to the actual time, which is between 7 a.m. Saturday morning and 1 o'clock Sunday afternoon. Of course, by then we'll know what we got, but I think tomorrow afternoon will be probably one of the best opportunities to gauge what exactly is going to be coming down the line. So with that, again, if you're a ham radio operator, listen to us on the 146.940 repeater. We're going to have a hourly check-in net is the plan, starting sometime probably Saturday morning, and we will have hourly check-ins on that repeater, maybe another repeater, and you can listen to it on Broadcastify. The 694 repeater is on a live stream, so you can listen in, and we'll try and have other means for doing reports from people that might be just watching and unable to key up on a radio. We'll be looking for snowfall totals, we'll be looking for icing reports, we'll be looking for road conditions, we'll be looking for damage reports, fallen branches, vehicle wrecks, anything of that sort, and we'll be relaying that information to the National Weather Service. So stay tuned. I'll have the link for Broadcastify in the description, and hopefully it's not as bad as it could be, but I think right now we're in a much better spot than we were a couple of days ago. So with that, I'll say 7-3s. I'll talk to you soon, and if you like this, give me a thumbs up.